Alrighty. I did it again. I started the video by saying alright. Which I guess there's nothing wrong with inherently. But I am trying to get set up here for a cardio workout. It's a windy day though, and it's proving a little tough. I'm hoping this works right here. But it kind of doesn't, because I can't really stand. Can't really just stand and talk to the camera easily. I could put it up here, but I'm afraid that it might fall into the water below, which would be no bueno. So I'm just gonna do what I can, I guess. Maybe right here. Gosh darn it. Anyways, while I try and figure that out. It's been a bit of a, I don't know, low mood day. Don't have too much energy. I was gonna do a workout earlier today, cardio workout, but I didn't really feel like it too much. And I don't really feel like it now either. And I'm also smelling urine, and I'm realizing that the ground is wet here because people come to this corner to piss. That's what it is. That's grim. But anyways, sometimes there are things we want to do that we just don't feel like doing. And we may never feel like doing it. So I'm just gonna do my best. That's all I need to do. And just hope, yeah, I don't know, just trust myself. So here we go. I think this is workout number 5. I'm gonna do some cardio, some staircase cardio, and yeah, see how it goes. Feel free to tag along and join on in. I'm definitely feeling a little shitty. My mind's nagging me. Feeling a little more self-conscious, I'm realizing. Feeling a little more self-critical as well. So just gonna observe that. And that's it, I suppose. But anyways, when we're feeling shit, sometimes the best thing we can do is get some exercise in. So let's hit this. I'm gonna do, I don't know, I guess I'll see how many sets I can do comfortably, how many reps, and then I'll try and just do that for a bunch of sets, I suppose. 5. I can feel myself just feeling more negative in general. There's a dude up there just kind of staring or glaring. I don't even know if necessarily at me, but he just looked like very, I don't know, unhappy, but like in a judgmental way. Like, how do I say this? Like he looked kind of bitter. Like he looked like, I don't know. Obviously I don't know the guy, and I'm just saying it because just to observe my thoughts, just to acknowledge what I'm thinking. It's usually not how I think about others, but it's probably indicative of something, Not to say that our thoughts always mean something. I mean, there's intrusive thoughts and sometimes we just think shitty things, but I just feel a little more like annoyed or like a little, I don't know, just kind of shitty, just kind of feeling more self-conscious. It's probably like a vulnerability thing. I'm probably not at my tip-top percent. I'm feeling more vulnerable, and so I'm a little, I don't know, a little more sensitive, or like feeling, I don't know, more threatened maybe by others, or like I feel like it's like personal. I feel like they're judging me, but it probably isn't the case. And everyone's living their own life. It's whatever. My guess is probably that something has kind of been triggering me lately, or making me feel some of those suppressed emotions, the critical, self-judgmental type emotions, and I'm thinking I'm probably projecting that into how I perceive others. But yeah, let me do another set, maybe that'll help. I guess it was just a matter of time before I had a bad day. A day where I feel more negative, more bitter. And, it's expected. It's expected to happen. It has to happen at some point. And, I feel like when there are moments like these, we have the decision of whether, I mean, you know, our feelings are always valid, but we choose how we respond to our feelings. And yeah, I think one of the best things you can do is just be aware of your feelings, be aware of your thoughts, and as you become more aware, it'll slowly lose power. The things that are automatic will become less and less automatic, and you'll be more aware of it, more conscious of it. You'll be able to control those impulses, those thoughts, those habits, those behaviors. But yeah, this one's like my mind's nagging me for not being like as positive or as like uplifting as I feel like I tend to be, and just kind of shitting on me. Something to dive deeper into and observe, but you know, the one thing I can decide to do is not to project it onto others, not to act on these feelings in a way where I affect other people due to my frustrations. You know, I think that's a very common thing when we feel negative emotions. If we don't control it, it spills over, it affects the people we love sometimes. Or sometimes maybe it's intentional, you know, maybe you hate the world, you hate people, and you want others to suffer like you have suffered. But it's up to us, you know, to respond to our feelings, and yeah, I'm just gonna observe them. But I do feel, I don't know, a little like frustrated, I guess. I don't know why exactly, but maybe more will be revealed after another set. It's only a matter of time before we have bad days, and you know, sometimes life just fucks us. Things just pile on, we get really unlucky. The day just keeps getting worse and worse, but I think it's important to try and do what we can to shift the tides, you know? I've had a lot of days where it starts off horribly, I feel like shit, I feel horrible. I make some tough decisions that are hard to make, but that I know future me will thank me for. And I manage to turn a day around, you know? And it's on days like this where it's hardest to get a workout in, you know? You don't feel like it, It's it's hard and it sucks, but there's also great value, great potential in doing things anyway, even if they suck. And I think that's one of the greatest lessons of working out is like, a lot of times back when I would work out, even on the days that sucked, I would find that once I got that workout in, once I did something that was tough and hard, it was fulfilling. I felt really good. It reset the tone in a way. It lets you take back control over your circumstances in a way. And that's like the most valuable lesson really in this life. I feel like a lot of times we just want to blame everything else, and sometimes shit is unfair as fuck. I have a pretty blessed life. Most of us do. We can always compare to someone. There's always someone doing worse than us. But if you want to change, at some point you have to decide like, I got dealt a dog ass hand. I got dealt a horrible hand. But I have to do what I got to do what I can with it, It's like playing poker, Even if you have a horrible hand, you have the worst hand in the game, if you're good at like just bluffing, like you can still win it, There's a sign in my friend's garage that says, I think it says like a pair of balls beats any hand or something. It's like a poker joke or poster. And it's true, like sometimes like you can't control what's given to you, but how you respond to it means everything. It dictates everything. And if you find a way to always try to find a way, you're gonna be a beast in life. And I guarantee you that much. And I think in a year's time from now, I'm gonna be a much different person from who I am now, and in a very good way. And I'm excited for that. I'm confident in myself, and I know that I'm at least not gonna give up on this. And that's all I need. As long as I don't give up, great things are gonna come. Great things are gonna happen. And I'm hopeful and trusting, and I'm ready. Not in like an egotistical way, It's kind of like the opposite of ego. It's letting go of, your desire to control the uncontrollable. Like just accepting that most things are out of our control, and just focus on what we can control, the little things. And I guarantee most of us can always do more. And if we always find a way, rather than think about all the reasons we can't do something, great things are gonna come to you. I guarantee you that. And with that, I'm already feeling much better. Let's get it. Let's do another set. I have an idea. Maybe I can do this. And you know, I realized too, well, for one, as soon as I realized, or as I was doing that set, I realized like, wow, just like being honest, being vulnerable, and just saying my feelings, sharing my thoughts, you know, that's something that can feel very difficult. And it's still something I'm working on, even though I've made such great progress on it. But it doesn't always have to be like a action, you know? Like, what I mean by that is, you don't always have to make some huge move to fix some huge problem. Like, it's about small actions, and every moment counts. Every decision you make, it stacks up, it compounds, and that can work for you in your favor or to beat you into the ground, you know? And that includes being honest. A lot of people have trouble being honest or being vulnerable, but that's one of those things where, like, as soon as you do it, you're thankful you did it, you're glad you did it. And at least in my experience, and it's empowering, it's fulfilling. It helps you feel like you've taken back control, and it can really just change the dynamic, whether it's like in a friendship or a relationship with family. Like, being the one to take initiative, to be the first to be vulnerable and lead with vulnerability, it can change the whole dynamic. It can change things very quickly. And the other thing is, you know, in the US especially, you know, it's a very action-centered society. We think we always need to be doing stuff to change our lives, but sometimes the best thing we can do is do nothing at all. You know, that's where awareness comes from. It's when you stop doing things and you let your mind become aware of things, you know? If you close your eyes right now, let me run this with you. Close your eyes for 10 seconds and think about what you feel. You're gonna become aware of certain things. Maybe the thoughts in your head, maybe it's your heart pounding, maybe it's wind flying across your skin, maybe it's that you feel very warm. But as you sit longer and longer, your awareness becomes less physical and more abstract. It's more emotional. You feel, I don't know, maybe a sense of longing, a sense of sadness, a sense of purpose or lack of purpose. It can be anything, right? So sometimes the best thing you can do is stop thinking you need to do things. Just sit back, relax, let your mind decompress. That's another great thing exercise is great for. So I'm gonna decompress a little more and do another set.是我做视频。对对对。我以为你在教英语呢。我以为你在教别人说英语。
练？你没有回深圳？
我没有。
你不是在深圳吗？
深圳。
你不是在深圳工作吗？
现在没有工作，就是这是我的工作。现在没有付钱，就是但是现在没有给我。
How many followers?
现在有128。对，
Which country? 都是 American?
应该是美国的，但是我觉得很多是马来西亚的，还有泰国，因为我去旅行在泰国在马来西亚。
以前有很多的这种视频了已经。
对，我做视频。在哪儿？
你的中文说的比我的英文好。
An interesting chain of events. Very interesting, actually. I'll translate. By the time you see this, I'll probably have put up translation captions. But that's a guy I've seen around a few times, and he was asking me what I was doing, and I was telling him about YouTube, and I guess that's the second time now. I think this time I was more like affirmed about it. I was more like confident about it. But I told him I was gonna be a YouTuber, or that I'm a YouTuber, that this is my work, this is my job. Even though right now I make no money off it, I'm feeling confident that I'm gonna continue to grow, and I'll get there, hopefully. But yeah, it's a it's a funny little thing too. Funny coincidence. I hadn't seen him in a little while. But yeah, that's one of those moments where it's a little tough, when you get roped in a conversation but you're like in the middle of doing something. In the past, I've had a lot of trouble like speaking up for myself, voicing my needs, and so it felt a little awkward. But I wanted to not wait too long between my sets, so I went ahead and kept going. Well, I realized I don't even think the dude showed up in the frame. I probably wasn't even in the frame, but that's okay. Yeah. Oh man, that was fruitful. I enjoyed that. That was fruitful. I felt very good. I didn't feel embarrassment as I have in the past. I didn't feel nervous or ashamed or guilty for saying like, yeah, like I don't have a job. This is my job. I don't make any money off it, but I hope to someday, and I think I will. I'm feeling pretty good about that. Feeling pretty, I don't know, pretty excited, not excited, pretty content with the idea that maybe I'll just commit to this full time, and it'll just be a reflection of my life. I guess it's kind of like Twitch streaming or something like that. A bit different. I might try live streaming at some point. I feel like it could be fun. I've never done it before. Speaking of live streaming, I have a friend. We used to play a lot of League of Legends, and I used to really love playing League. Shout out to my League of Legends players, if there's any of you out there. But yeah, I haven't played League in months, and we were talking about getting some ranked duos in, and he wanted to like stream it. So maybe I'll join in on that. Maybe some people would be down to watch that. But I guess that's not what matters. What matters is that I'm doing things that I want to do, that I enjoy, and I feel like that's been the wave I've been on, the path I've been on, and I think as long as I continue to, I'll enjoy it. I'll be happy about it. I'll be content, and it'll be sustainable. And I guess as I grow, as I get more people tagging along, watching, subscribing, commenting, all that good stuff, as a community builds, I think it might get a little harder for me to, I don't know, I'm sure more of my insecurities and fears will kind of pop up. Fear of failure, fear of loss, fear of criticism, fear of judgment. But I want to make sure that I stay true to myself and do the things I want to do. And let YouTube liberate me, not bond me. Not serve as bondage. Let me do another set.
他对家了我。又不拉的，这咋又不拉的？周期。
I'm back, baby. Oh man. I think it showed up in the frame. There's a dude that came by, he has a bird on his arm. It's pretty sick. You know, I just thought a little more, and you know, I feel like these videos thus far, besides the first one picked up a bit of traction, but otherwise not really any of them. And you know, like that might be a thought that kicks in a little bit of fear into me, you know, fear of failure, all that good stuff. But it's also what was I saying? Oh, it's also one of those things that really tests me, because you know, if I want to, you know, I feel like chasing the views or worrying so much about what people want to see and not what I want to do is a bit of a recipe for disaster. I can take feedback, but I have to stay honest with myself, stay true to myself, stay true to what I value and what I want, what I think is important. And you know, engage in conversation. You know, I want to hear other perspectives and hear people's thoughts, but the most important perspective and I guess thoughts to remember are my own. So just to be careful not to let the views and the chase of views dissuade me, derail me. Can't really see, it's off camera, but I'm rubbing my, I guess it doesn't matter. I'm rubbing my knee. I didn't break my knee. I got like a, what do they call it? A tier 1, like the worst type of, like a complete ligament tear on my my tendon, I forget what it's called. It's like right at the knee, right here, connects your quad and your hamstrings, like that area. I guess your quad to your knee area. And I used to play goalkeeper for a football team in Shenzhen, just like Sunday league, just for fun. And I got in a really gnarly accident while playing, and completely tore my whatever it's called. And that was a really rough time, and that's actually where a lot of the ideas I had really came to fruition, because it gave me a bunch of time where I couldn't leave, I couldn't distract myself, I couldn't go out. You know, I could watch a bunch of YouTube and shit, and I did, but you get tired of that, right? You start feeling the brain rot. And so I spent a lot of time just with myself, with my thoughts, decompressing, thinking about life, thinking about what I want to do once my leg is fixed and healed. And that's really where this channel, in a way, kind of started. The origin was a little earlier. But doing a lot of the things that have led me to where I am now, a lot of the things that excited me at that point in time, like traveling, maybe starting the channel. I forget when I started it, but yeah, sometimes, no, all the time, you know, almost all the time. Every failure is just a setback, and there's always an opportunity to learn, even if it doesn't feel like it, even if it feels like ass shit. If you feel like ass shit, you know, there's always the opportunity there if you seek it, if you want it. But you have to want it. But you can't want something until you're aware that you want to change something. That's probably really convoluted. I'm gonna ignore I said all that. I'm gonna do another set. That's what I'm gonna do. Something very satisfying about doing like an explosive workout. Something really, really high energy, high intensity. I feel like it really lets you channel your negative emotions. Or just emotions in general. Maybe if you're happy, I mean, you could channel that through doing some Peloton, what do they call it? The bicycling thing? Or this staircase workout. I'm feeling a little pensive, a little reflective. Not quite sure about what though. I think I do a pretty good job at saying my thoughts out loud. Just a streamline of my consciousness. But sometimes I don't have much to say. And I think my mind fears that in part. It fears it fears me not having things to say, because then it kicks in all those, the usual fear, the trifecta: fear of judgment, fear of failure, fear of criticism. Ooh, classic. I also realize as I have been identifying that more and more and more, it becomes weaker and weaker and weaker. But yeah, sometimes my mind's afraid of not having anything to say. So I'm gonna face that discomfort for a second, and maybe I'll do something, I don't know, a little weird. I'll do this for 10 seconds. Let it go on a little longer. Feel that extra push. Okay. I'm gonna do one more set, I think, till failure. Just give it my all, and then I think I'll wrap up. Let's get it. you're coming with me. Oh man. Facing the discomfort of doing a little vlog here. It's been a minute. Or I guess in the sense that like I'm holding up my vlog stick. I think I went on for quite a while there. I realized I had a lot of gas in the tank still. And that's the thing, man. Sometimes we don't know what our meter is at. We assume that we're quarter to empty. But sometimes we realize we have way more inside ourselves than we thought, you know? So, with that, I encourage you to challenge yourself, do something that makes you uncomfortable, and find those extra drips of gas in your tank. Just a little bit, just a tiny bit, just a few drips. And over time it'll compound into something magnificent. And yeah, I guess with that, I'll leave it at that. So, thanks for watching, if anyone watched at all. And if not, that's perfectly fine. I watched, I lived it, I experienced it. And that's something that's gonna go a long way for me. You know, I realize I'm about to hit an hour mark, which I've never done before. And I also realize that my mind's very uncomfortable with that idea. So I'm gonna drag this out a little. I'm gonna talk for a few more minutes. Hit that hour mark. See what happens. Face my fears. Get those extra few drip drops out of the gas tank. And challenge myself. Man. It's a strange thing. It's a crazy world we're living in. It's a crazy world and we're living in it, you know? What a beautiful thing that in this day and age I can fucking film a video. If you're watching from the US, I suppose. I'm across the freaking Pacific Ocean, thousands of miles away in China. And within minutes of me clicking record again and ending this, well, I guess not minutes, but you know, within an hour or so, I can end this video, plug it into YouTube Studio, upload it, and boom, it's up for the world to see. The world won't see, for the most part, just a select few individuals who are crazy enough to witness my crazy, I guess. But I'm hopeful, I'm confident that I'm on the right path, and that'll continue to grow. There'll be more and more people who are curious and who stop on by and have a look, have a little peek at what this random ass dude is doing. Just like the people around me right now. A lot of glances, a lot of curiosity. And you know, sometimes we take that as a bad thing, and we think that when people are looking, they're judging us, you know? We project a certain belief of what we believe for ourselves. If we think we're cringe, and we think that people are hateful, bitter people who are trying to make us feel like shit, then when we catch someone looking at us, we'll get defensive. The ego will flare up, and we'll get into that fight, freeze, freeze response. And you know, our perception is our reality. If that's what you believe people are looking at you for, that's what you're gonna perceive them to be looking at you for. So take back control. Take back control of your reality, and be yourself, and don't let anyone take that away from you. Gonna end it at an hour exactly.